I never thought I'd be betrayed like this on one of the happiest days of my life. But here I am, sitting alone in the corner of the reception hall, replaying every moment over and over. My fiancée Claire and I had been together for 5 years. I thought we were solid. I thought we shared trust, respect, and love. We had planned every detail of our wedding together, down to the flowers, the music, and even the seating arrangement. Or so I thought. The day started perfectly. Friends and family were smiling. Everyone seemed happy. I was nervous, of course, but excited. I remember looking at her as she walked down the aisle. She looked beautiful, radiant. I felt my chest tighten with love and anticipation. Then came the reception. Everything seemed normal at first. Guests were laughing, dancing, and enjoying the celebration. I was about to give my toast when I noticed him, Jake, her ex-boyfriend, someone I had met before, months ago, and who I assumed was nothing more than a memory. But here he was, seated at the head table, smiling casually, as if he belonged there. I froze. My words stuck in my throat. My stomach twisted. Then she introduced him. "And this," she said, voice loud enough for everyone to hear, "is Jake, the love of my life." The room went silent. Guests exchanged confused glances. My toast faltered in my mind, then disappeared entirely. I couldn't believe it. I blinked, hoping it was some cruel joke. But her smile, the way she held his hand lightly under the table, it was real. I tried to approach her privately, to understand. Maybe I had misheard. Maybe I was imagining it. "Claire, what are you doing?" I asked quietly, pulling her aside. She looked at me like I had just walked into the wrong room. "What do you mean?" "The way you just introduced him, you called him the love of your life," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "Oh, come on," she said dismissively. "It's just a joke. Lighten up." Everyone laughed. I stared at her, feeling my heart shatter. A joke? At my wedding? In front of everyone? "It's not funny," I said. "You don't introduce your ex-boyfriend as the love of your life at your wedding. Not to me, not to anyone." She laughed lightly, almost nervously. "You're being dramatic. It's just a party. Stop taking everything so seriously." I realized then that the woman I thought I knew, the woman I trusted, was capable of humiliation in front of everyone she knew. And worse, she didn't see it as betrayal. I stepped away, trying to breathe. I could feel the anger rising, but deeper than that was betrayal. Pain. A feeling that cut sharper than anything I'd ever experienced. I went to the balcony, needing air, needing space, needing to decide how to respond. My best man found me there, concern etched on his face. "Are you okay?" he asked. I shook my head. "No. She she called her ex the love of her life at our wedding, in front of everyone." He blinked. "Wait, what?" I nodded, unable to find words. The reality was sinking in. My fiancée, the woman I had trusted completely, had chosen to publicly elevate an ex over me on the day I thought was about us. I didn't confront her further that night. I didn't want to cause a scene, but I knew something had to change. I spent the rest of the evening quietly observing, watching how she interacted with him, noticing the small touches, the laughter, the familiarity. It was clear. She still cared about him, more than she had cared for me in that moment. By the end of the night, I made my decision. This wedding wasn't mine anymore. This marriage wasn't mine anymore. The next day, I asked her to sit down for a conversation. "Claire," I began, voice steady, "we need to talk about last night." She looked confused, maybe even defensive. "About what?" "About Jake. About the way you treated me. About the fact that you think it's okay to call your ex the love of your life at your wedding," I said, letting the words hang in the air. She shifted uncomfortably. "It was just a joke. Everyone laughed. Stop making a big deal out of nothing." I shook my head. "No, this isn't nothing. This is a line that can't be uncrossed. This is a betrayal, and I don't know if I can trust you again." Tears welled up in her eyes, but it wasn't remorse. It was panic. The panic of someone who suddenly realizes their actions have consequences. I didn't mean it like that," she whispered. "But you did," I said softly. You elevated him over me in front of everyone. And now I see who you really are, and I don't want to marry someone who would do that. A few days later, I called off the wedding. It was messy, painful, and humiliating in ways I couldn't have imagined. Friends and family were shocked. Some didn't understand, some took sides. But I didn't care. Because betrayal isn't just about lies. It's about actions, and hers spoke louder than anything else. I still think about that night sometimes. How a single joke, a single sentence, destroyed a relationship I thought was unshakable. How someone you trust completely can, in a moment, reveal a side you never knew existed. Now, months later, I'm rebuilding. Therapy, friends, focusing on myself. The pain is still there, lingering like a scar, but it's also a reminder. A reminder that trust isn't something to give blindly. That love should never be mocked in front of others. And that sometimes saving yourself means walking away, even from the person you thought was your forever.